In this video, we're going to look at equations in the form of x to the third power equals p. In other words, x is a number that is multiplied by itself 3 times. Whereas in a square root, we would have a number multiplied by itself. Here, we're going to multiply it by itself 3 times. And what does that mean? Well, let's see. I'm looking for a number in this equation, some number x to the third power, which equals 125. And most of you probably already know what that number is, and if you don't, you will shortly. All right, so I'm going to take what's known as the cube root of x to the third power. And I use the same symbol as a square root. I use a radical symbol, except I put a little 3 here. And the reason I put a 3 in the symbol is to indicate that I'm looking for the cube root and not the square root. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Now, if you don't know how to find the cube root, if you don't know what the answer to this question is, there is a button on your calculator which does cube roots, or will do any roots for that matter. And you can look at your calculator, and if you're having difficulty, please see me in class, or you can look at the instructions. And it's not that hard to figure out, hopefully. All right, so what's the cube root of x to the third power? It would be x. And I'm looking for a number multiplied by itself 3 times. That would be 125, and that would be 5. X equals 5, because 5 multiplied by 5 is 125. That's 5 squared. Multiply that one more time by 5, and that would be 125. All right. Also, please note that these cube root problems don't have both a positive and a negative. It's either one or the other. They don't have 2 answers, they just have 1. Let's look at another example. X to the third equals negative 27. In this example, I'm looking for a number multiplied by itself 3 times that will equal negative 27. All right, so I'm going to take the cube root of x to the third, and I'm going to take the cube root of negative 27. All right, so I'm looking for a number multiplied by itself 3 times that will equal negative 27. Well, the cube root of x to the third power, of course, is x, and the cube root of negative 27 is negative 3. And if you're not sure why, here you go. Let me show you. Box my answer first. Negative 27 is the same as negative 3 multiplied by negative 3 multiplied by negative 3. And that's going to equal negative 27. Negative 3 multiplied by negative 3 would be positive 9, and positive 9 multiplied by negative 3 would be negative 27. I think this is a good example of why cube root problems only have either a positive or a negative answer, not both.